team. And our next session will be a case study given by Mr. Youngil Park. I'm pleased to have the chance to introduce Mr. Youngil Park, who is the director of the European region at the Korea Creative Contents Agency, KOCCA. After completing his master's in public administration at Yonsei University, Mr. Park went on to work for KOCCA in 2002 as the digital content team leader, devoting for Korean culture industry. Without further ado, please welcome Mr. Youngil Park.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Youngil Park from Korea Creative Content Agency. They call it KOCCA. KOCCA is the South Korean government agency. The Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism. So today, well, first of all, I'd like to say I'm sorry because my bad English. So actually, this is the second time to present here. Actually, I was 2 years ago made a speech here, but unfortunately, there's no progress in my English. So I prepared the script. So yes, let's start my presentation. Today, I'd like to introduce Korea content export to Europe market before and after the Korea-EU FTA. Okay. Yes, my presentation will proceed as following. In the first part, I'll introduce Korean-EU Cultural Cooperation Protocol briefly, and after that, I present trade amount of both parties. Then I'll show you some meaningful changes of Korea content export after FTA. And finally, I'll give you my opinion for increasing mutual trade. Korea-EU Cultural Cooperation Protocol took effect on July 2011. Main content of the protocol is mutual cooperation in cultural activities, cultural product and services between Korea and EU. And the other main content is setting standard of domestic recognition for co-production in the audiovisual and animation sector. Cultural Cooperation Committee organizes to implement and monitor the protocol, and yesterday the third committee was held in Belgium. Like this, plans for exchanging and cooperation between two parties have been set. Therefore, today I'd show you if there is any impact of FTA by analyzing the changes of content trade before and after FTA. This chart presents a trade unit between 2010, when just before the FTA, and recent statistics of 2013. According to industry statistics, the amount of Korean exports to EU has increased by 30% from $207 million in 2010 to $349 million in 2013. The amount of Korean import to Europe from Europe has increased by 12% from $86 million in 2010 to $97 million in 2013. The chart shows that the scale of trade trade between Korea and Europe has vastly increased after the FTA years. I will present more details of Korea content export volume by the major content categories. Sorry. There's some mistake, sorry. Yes. This chart presents trade unit between sorry. Sorry. I will present more details of Korean content export volume by the major content categories. The game industry achieved the highest volume of export to the Europe. In terms of growth rate, the music industry has grown 11 times, but the broadcast industry has declined slightly. And you can also see the import volume from Europe by the major content categories in this slide. The game industry imported the highest volume from Europe in 2013. The amount of game import in 2013 increased 21 times than in 2010. Like these details, there's a difference of trade volume in different content industries. In next part, I will explore changes of the amount of export after the FTA by the major content categories. Yes, first, the game industry. Before the FTA, 2011, the FTA took effect. It was common to publish games by having partnership with the local publishers or by establishing a domestic service corporation such as NCSoft and Nexon and Onnet. However, after 2011, another published format is developed, namely global service. That means publishing a game to the local consumers in Korea, not entering the local market directly. Also, mobile games entered to the UK and France market. And Korea has led esports throughout the world, such as League of Legends, League, and StarCraft, and others. The next part is character licensing business. The main publishing method before 2011 is having a partnership with European distributors and retailers. For example, KOCCA and Disney and Pororo and Nickelodeon cooperated to enter the UK and Europe market. The partnership is still mainstream. But one or two companies from Korea supply and promote their character products directly in the Europe market. One of the company is Aurora World, and its annual sales amount of a European branch is around 34 million pounds. Let's move on the animation industry. Around 10 animation co-produced with Germany, Spain, Britain, and France before 2011. Nowadays, the nationality of co-producers became various to Italy. Recently, multinational co-produced animation published like Marvelous Ladybug. Korean movies have been introduced mainly on second screen, such as DVD or TV film channel, and nowadays OTT channels, such as Netflix and Amazon. And the animation theater, the Nut Job, achieved high sales in the UK and France. It is a primary Korean animation movie which gains more than $10 million box office income in UK and France. In 2014, the Snowpiercer originated from French cartoon, earned around $8 million in Europe. Before 2011, we can find several Korean albums in HMV's The World Music section. After that, many idols performed in European countries, including the UK and France. Especially since 2012, the number of Korean indie bands have increased in Liverpool Sound City, Glastonbury, and the Great Escape Music Festival. Some of them had a contract with British labels to release their album in European market. It happened last year. Last but not least is broadcasting. Korean dramas broadcasted successfully and have continuous demand in Eastern Europe, such as Romania, Hungary, and Poland, but lack of popularity in Western Europe. However, the interest in new entertainment format increased. For example, a British independent producer bought the Korean entertainment format Better Than Never to broadcast on NBC in the US. So far, I've been briefly describing Korean content's entry or export to Europe market before and after the FTA. Lastly, let me talk about how to expand the exchange between Korea and EU. In my opinion, as you can see in the graph, the stage of content exchange between Korea and Europe before the FTA was the introduction stage. In the meantime, the trade with China is in the growth stage, and the one with Japan is in the maturity stage, I think. But if you consider the scale and growth rate of the content trade after the FTA, we can say that it has been elevated to the growth stage. In this respect, I believe that the FTA has a great effect on this result, but I mean, this is just one of the reasons of this result. In the growth stage, the growth amount and rate can increase and sometimes decrease. While this situation will be repeated several times, it will be determined whether it will go to the maturity stage or decline stage. And this is the very important issue that we have to deeply think about. For leading the content exchange to the maturity stage, I think we have to put a lot of effort into cooperation, cultural exchange, and international co-productions, as well as implementation and monitoring the FTA protocol. In details, I believe that we have to make more action plans for cooperation, cultural exchange, and international co-production schemes, such as 2015, 2016 is Korea-France bilateral culture exchange year, and we also have Korea-UK Creative Industry Forum and others. thank you for your attention. Yes.
Okay, we'll get a question from the middle. I'm going to be interpreting for the Q&A session.
Hello, I'm Yuri Han from King's College London. Thank you for your presentation, actually. And I remember that in 2013, the President Park's state visit to UK, the KOCCA was actually highlighted. And as long as I remember, the president of KOCCA was actually chairing the Korea-UK Business Forum in the section of creative economy. And do you believe that is there any progress after that visit? I mean, the cooperation between UK and Korea in terms of creative economy and media?
네, 간단하게 말씀드리면, I'm sorry, I have to speak in Korean. 그 이후에 그 양국 그 문화부 간의 MOU가 체결이 되었고, 그래서 연례 행사로 한국하고 영국 정부 간의 Cultural and Creative Industry 포럼이 열리고 있고요. 그거에 의해서 저기 패션, 그다음에 방 브로드캐스팅, 그다음에 게임, 그리고 필름 이런 분야의 그 상호 협단체 간의 MOU와 교류 프로그램들이 만들어지고 있습니다. 그래서 다음 달 7일, 8일에 그 Korea UK Creative Industries Forum이 will be held in BFI. So 많이 참여해 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
Okay, so I'll try to do that. Okay, so after the Korea-UK Business Forum, there has been an MOU between the cultural departments of each country, UK and Korea. And what they've decided is to have an annual event between the governments, which will talk about Creative Industry Forum. And it will include fashion, film, and game industries and broadcasting. And they're also encouraging us SMEs to sign MOUs between them and have cultural exchange programs. And the Creative Industry Forum is going to be held next month on 7th and 8th at BFI. So if you can participate in that, that would be very helpful. Yeah. I think we only have time for one question. So, okay, we have 2 minutes. Is there any other question?
Hello. Hello, I'm Eliseo from Barcelona, ESADE University. Thank you for your presentation. As we've seen, like Korea has been exporting culture and a lot of in games, in industry, in designing characters to a lot of countries. And it is true that in some countries there is a more biggest influence about Korean culture. How, as we can talk about, like France and Canada, for example. Are you seeing recently a rapid increase of Korean exportations to a country specifically, or can you predict which country, maybe European Union, maybe not, will be in the next upcoming years having a lot of Korean influence in terms of culture?
네, 그 유럽의 여러 많은 나라들하고 교류를 확대하고 싶은데 특별하게는 저희가 그 영국과 그다음에 프랑스, 그다음에 독일, 그다음에 스페인, 이탈리아, 그다음에 스웨덴, 핀란드 이런 나라들과 조금 더 교류를 확대하고자 생각을 하고 그런 계획들을 가지고 있습니다.
Okay, so the plan is to expand the exchanges between European countries, especially focusing on the UK, France, Germany, Spain, Italy, and Finland.
그리고 폴란드하고 헝가리, 그다음에 체코, 그다음에 이 세 나라들과도 거기에 한국 문화원이 상주하고 있어서요. 그 나라들과도 교류 프로그램이 조금 더 늘어날 거라고 기대하고 있습니다.
And since there's Korean cultural centers in Poland, Hungary, and Czech Republic, there is going to be an increase in exchange, and there are plans for the more increased exchange in the future.